Okay, so welcome back to the Preset Biz channel. So in this part, we're going to be doing the drop for the Calabria remake, and this is what we made in the last episode, so just the verse and the build. So we've got to start with the bass line for the drop on this song, and I've decided to go for that first sound you hear, which is like an opening, swelling, noisy sound. So I took a womp sound and I kind of tweaked it a bit, as you can see in like the bend to the wavetable position. A couple of things on the filter cutoff, and then just sort of changed the shape so it swells perfectly in time to match the original. But this is what we have for the first stab sound. And to go with that, we've also got this sound here. So it's like a one-shot sound, which you can get in the Car Music Volume 4 pack. So yeah, I've just shaped it up a bit more so you don't get that pitch bend, you just get a straight up reverse bass sound. The next sound we're using is a bass preset called Often, which is in Car Music Volume 4. It's a really, really good sample, this one. And so this is the MIDI that we're playing. And so here you can see we've got little pieces where we're off-grid. Again, we're just doing some Alt-Q quantization. So we're using the shuffle template on 70%, and that just gives it that offbeat thing, which gives it more bounce and just a bit more swing in the whole song. Here I've cloned the Often synth, and then I've just jumped it up an octave, so it's just playing a bit more of like a harmonic kind of layer on top, just to add a bit more top end to the whole song. And then we have this synth called Crispy and Slappy, which is such an aggressive, like in-your-face synth, but it just worked really well to add a bit more presence to the whole sound in the mix and just filled in a couple of harmonics in the spectrum that we were missing. And then we've got this layer called FM, which is a great sound to add a bit more of that FM harmonic to your whole synth overall. So here's what we have with all of our sounds so far. We've also got a kick layer, which is adding some top kick to the whole sound and just a lot of punch and just the kind of crispness that you need to cut through in the mix a bit more. So moving on to the womps now that are halfway through the MIDI, you've got these little bits here. And so for this, I've used a womp sound called womp breaking, and then I think I've tweaked the actual LFO shape a bit more so it kind of matched the like the falling in pitch a bit better to the original song. And then we also have this second variation of the same preset, where again I've tweaked the whole falling and rising of the pitch a bit differently because it's a slightly different sound over here. It kind of climbs and then falls a bit quicker. So on the bass one shot at the start, we've got that really aggressive sound. We've got some OTT, which is just really helping to add that top end that was missing. And then on the actual bass channel, I'm sending the bass one shot into this bus. And then we've got some CLA compression. I felt like there was quite a heavy reverb. Maybe it's with the trumpets and stuff, but it just feels quite like a wet drop. So I just wanted to add a bit more of that in the drop. And then yeah, we've got CLA, BX Digital and some kickstart as well. So we're just trying to widen the whole sound and then just, yeah, really get close to the original. So moving on to our drums now, we've got the Car Music Volume 2 kick, which is such a sick pack for kicks. I'd say it's probably my favourite pack of all of the Car Music ones for kicks, exclusively just because they're so good. Super punchy kicks, they're just so good. This is how it sounds with the bass. And then we have these claps from Car Music Volume 4. So these have got like a snare character to the sound, but that really helps to really give you a smacky sound when you're trying to layer it on top of quite a punchy kick. Next up we have this air horn sound, which I've just ripped off YouTube because I couldn't find any samples for it, but we've pitched up I think 4 cents, yeah, so 4 semitones. This is how it sounds. So now we've got some hi-hats introduced on the second half of the drops, as you can see. So this is from Car Music Volume 3. I think it's just a closed hi-hat, quite a simple one, but a really clean sample. And I just found it sat really nicely in the mix as well. And then lastly but not least, we've got this closed hi-hat, which is a really short one, and it's playing a couple of offbeat bits here. And as you can see, we've got one on the first beat as well, on the start of the drop as well, because I noticed it was a really small, subtle sound that they had in the song. I think it just adds a bit more attack and a bit more sort of punch to the first beat of the song, just to get your drop really powerful. So like I say, we're missing part of the trumpets and all of those sounds that we can't recreate with a synth. It's just simply a sample. So we'll just have to kind of imagine it's there, and it's sort of in the vocal as well, a bit leaked in the background. So we'll just have to imagine it's kind of there for the sake of this this whole remake. All right, so let's go and listen back now to the whole verse, build and drop and see how close we got overall. Let me know down below what you thought of this one, but let's go and take a listen to what we've got. Boom, so there we go, that was the remake for Calabria. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and found it useful. But if you've got any suggestions for future videos, drop those down below in the comments and we'll be checking those out in the future. But as always, make sure you drop a like if you enjoyed it, hit subscribe if you're not already part of the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next ones.